This is DJ Beowvlf with WKNC. I am in the HD2 production studio, currently sitting down with Callisto Records to talk about King Gino performing at WKNC this upcoming February. We're going to get into everything that the project does together, and specifically how they formed and their history in a little bit. If y'all want to go down the line and introduce yourselves, that would be fantastic. Say who you are and what you do in regards to the whole project.
My name is PM. I'm a producer, I'm an artist, and I'm also an audio engineer for Callisto Records.
I am Gino, also known as King Gino. I'm an artist, the CEO of Callisto Records, and microbiology major here at NC State too.
Tight.
Yeah.
I am Rashid DeVasco. I'm the photographer and videographer. I do a lot of the image-related stuff, graphic design, visual arts, something that I love to do. I just came across, and I'm a plant bio major here at NC State.
Nice.
How's it going, y'all? So my name's Astronate. I'm a producer. I'm down. Got you. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Just make things easy for yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate that, you know. So I'm a producer. I'm also the DJ, and I do a little bit of directing music videos every now and then. I'm an aerospace engineering student, so that's where the Astro came from.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this man's out of this world.
Yeah, you're all studying like hard science, which is insane. Like even audio engineering is like hard science.
I don't study it. I'm actually in fashion and textile management. I just do audio engineering.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, y'all will relate because I'm also a humanities. So is fashion humanities?
It's a science.
Hard
Yeah,
sciences.
yeah.
I'm literally a social work major, so like if y'all can do math, you're better than me from the get-go. But anyways, getting back into the nitty-gritty, you're all part of Callisto Records, which is why you introduce the different things that you work on in regards to this collective. But specifically for Double Barrel, we'll be promoting King Gino as an artist. So let's talk about that first, and then we'll go back into the entire record company that y'all have. How long has King Gino been either your stage name or the project that you've been working on?
Yeah, so King Gino came about, well, you know, it was like my gamer tag on like PlayStation.
Nice.
Since I was like 11.
Didn't they recently update so you can finally change your gamer tag?
Yeah. I was like, what?
It's the best.
But it's King Gino forever.
You know, like I was like, man, it's a classic now. But like I used to like rap in high school. I didn't have like a stage name or anything, and so I used to just like when like the teachers would assign assignments, like you can make a song for this. I'm like, bet. And I'd make a rap. Everybody would be like, yo, Gino, rap for the next assignment, and so like became a thing. But I really didn't start releasing music under King Gino until freshman year. I was rapping on YouTube.
And you're
beats.
A senior now, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
so, yep, senior now, almost out of here. Be out December 2020, fingers crossed, you never know. And like freshman year, I like found Nate and Norm, who's not here. Ayo, Norm. Shout him out. And I was like, oh, people who finally make original beats. Like I can actually like put out music and you know.
Moving on from YouTube beats is a step up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so like I'd say like what was that? December 2016 was like the birth of King Gino.
Nice.
And we've been dropping stuff, doing shows ever since. So
really weird small world, and this is going to be, I don't know if I've ever told this to you before actually. December of 2017. I was a freshman at the time, and I was at some like house party or whatever. Yeah, it was on like Bearskin Court.
Oh, okay. I know what I'm talking about.
And I just remember the entire room was like, Gino's gonna rap or something.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And I had no idea what was going on. I just knew the guys who lived there at the time, but like they were all doing their own thing, and I was like a freshman, like twiddling my thumbs next to the fridge.
Oh man.
And I just remember like I saw you like perform for like 6 minutes total or something like that.
Oh
yeah.
Humble beginnings. Yeah, no, definitely like.
And that's like how I knew that you existed.
Yeah. Oh, that's super cool. Shout out my boy Samir and Jay. I think that's their house.
That was their house. I think they still live there.
Really?
I don't know. I was friends with they lived with two white guys named Alex. They were both named Alex. And I knew both of the Alexes. And then they had some fight or whatever, so now they don't live together. So like, every time I see Samir at Chipotle, I'm like, hello.
Yeah, that's my guy. We used to work at Starbucks, actually.
Yes,
and so
he did.
Like,
Jay worked there, too.
Yeah, and I used to work at Starbucks freshman year. And so we all worked at Starbucks together, and he was like, yo, come out to the party. And like, yo, you're going to rap? You're going to rap? And I'm like...
That's such a Jay move.
Yeah, exactly. You know Jay. Yeah,
yeah.
Man. And so it's like, most definitely. And then so... I was like, hey, Jay, I'm going to rap. He's like, yeah, bet. He like gathers everybody from the party like, Gino's about to rap. Gino's about to rap. And I'm like, oh. And it was great. Like,
yeah, no, they had a very small house. It was really crowded. I was like anxious in the fridge. And I remember this drunk girl came up to me and like grabbed my face and she was like, you're so pretty. And I was like, please don't touch me. And then immediately after that, she stopped touching me because you started rapping and she's like, gotta go watch this.
Oh, man. That's super cool. Small world, chaotic night, small house. But you've definitely stepped up over the years from playing like random house shows. Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about the facilitated events that you've done, like actual King Gino shows.
Yeah, man, it was super cool. So we definitely started out in house parties. And then we just tried to get our shows. We had like a show promoter in Charlotte help us get a couple shows. Couple cool opportunities. Like we opened up for Cassidy.
Nice.
Was that last summer?
Yeah, it was last summer.
Yeah, August 2018.
And if y'all are ever like part of these productions or anything, feel free to hop in and like add some extra details and stuff.
Yeah. And so like we started like just performing for other shows, like opening up for people, and then it got to a point where it was like All-Star Weekend in Charlotte, and like it was a great show. Like Stunner for Vegas was performing, and it was a great show. It was All-Star Weekend in Charlotte. It was super cool, but like we didn't really enjoy the way things were ran. It was very unorganized.
Yeah.
So we're like, we're gonna just start throwing our own events, and so we started small with house parties. And they were wildly successful.
Very wildly. Very successful.
And so we were like, like it became a thing, and we just kept, growing our fan base. And so now we had our latest Callisto hosted event was downtown at Emerge last month.
Nice.
Which was great. And so we just try to like build our fan base into bigger venues, which is why I'm super excited to be performing at King's. I actually met the owners not too long ago at the library, State of Sound.
Oh, the library.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so we performed at the library, connected with Jason Evans Groth over there, and DJ Alex Valencia, and just a lot of cool people. Like, it's like, those small opportunities. People like, oh, I've seen you at this. You want to, and then we just keep getting invited to
it's
stuff.
Like building that network. Yeah.
And so it's been super cool. So I'd say one of our coolest shows is we had a show. It was a competition here in Raleigh at the 440 nightclub.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was so many artists performing that day. It was like, 35, 40 people. And it was like, whoever wins gets a trip to the grand prize show. And I was like, all right. And so, it was like right across the street from State. So we hit the ground running. We sold tickets, really hit a lot of groundwork. And we packed the venue, and, we won the show. And so the next show was in LA, which was super cool because, like I brought my mom out and
you
my
already
sister.
went to LA. Like this has already happened?
Yeah. This
cool.
was this past
summer.
August. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. The Labor Day weekend. This
Nice.
past Labor Day weekend, and it was awesome to like see out there, and it was cool because everybody who won their show in their own city, like was there, and so I got. So
you
to
won
network.
the Raleigh one.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so everybody was there like to network, and it was super cool. So hope to keep like some of those connections in touch too. So
yeah, and I know that WKNC as a whole is super stoked. We love being able to like catch artists like in their prime right before they blow up.
Yeah.
Like for example, a couple years back, Mez, who was once upon a time King Mez, played Double Barrel Benefit, I think in like 2011 or 2012.
Yeah.
And now he just played Dreamville and stuff, and we got to interview him again, and it was like crazy to see that blow up. So we've got a really stacked lineup this year that we're super stoked on. I totally switched that. Night one is the night you're performing, which is like our hip hop alternative lineup that we've got going on, featuring y'all, Pat Jr., and Dotwave Media. It'll be opened by Vacant Company, but they're more like punk than rap or anything like that. For the other two acts, have you had any experience with them or collaborated at all in the past?
Oh yeah, most definitely. We with like Dotwave, like we known a lot of these guys since just freshman year. Like we were freshmen. Yeah, like.
I remember we had Constellations, and I think a few of them came out to that.
Yeah, so we hosted this event last year in the Entrepreneurs Village, where we rented out like an apartment where at Innovation Hall. We plan to host it in the new Entrepreneurs Garage, which is exciting. So we want to do an annual event where almost like Revenge of the Dreamers, where we send an invite to like different artists, and we're really about like fostering that music community. I think like one thing we all feel strongly about is the the tide raised all the boats, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if we could like lift the community up, we only ultimately lift ourselves and everybody else up. And so we sent the invite to everybody, and everybody on .wave got an invite.
Nice.
And so some of them showed up. We see them at events. And Pat Jr. actually, somebody put me on to Pat Jr. about a couple months ago. I was on a
He's
New
up and
York,
coming too. It's really cool.
New York City trip, and I was with Henry Boy.
Yep.
And I was on that trip with him, and me and Henry had like hit it off. Super cool dude. And then
he was so adamant. He was like, "We are booking King Gino. It's going to happen." I was like, "Okay, sweet."
Yeah. Shout out the man.
I know
Henry.
that name. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. And one of his friends, Drew Martin, who I think he
works for Ad Hoc out in New York. Yep.
He put me on. He was like, "Dude, you gotta check out Pat Jr." And Drew's music knowledge in North Carolina was crazy.
It is crazy.
It's,
I mean, he's like based in New York, but has such strong ties to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Ad Hoc in particular, like works really closely with Kings and does like all of their presents gigs. So
yeah,
he's got a footing for sure.
Yeah, so he put me on to Pat Jr. I was like, "Oh, this dude's dope." So I went and followed him on Instagram and just went back and forth. So I definitely look forward to collaborating with a lot of these local artists. There's so much talent just in like Raleigh alone, and then you got Durham. There's so much talent in Durham, and then
you mentioned Charlotte like a million times. Last year we had Young Bull from Durham come out.
Yes,
they're tight.
Yep. Young Bull. We met Young Bull.
When Track Girl came.
Yeah, Track Girl came to speak at NC State.
Yes, I remember seeing that at the library.
Yeah. And so we got to speak with her, show her some beats. She showed us an unreleased beat. I was like, yo, we were like super geeking out. And then Young Bull was there, so we got to network with him. And
they did a lounge session here with us after Double Barrel. Yeah, super cool guys.
Super cool, yeah.
Tangential question, possibly. It has been a common trope as far as hip hop has been like a prominent genre to have like groups of artists like work together as a collective to like push themselves forward in things. That kind of took an ebb in like the 2000s where like single brand name artists like really took off. And there's a resurgence again, like you see Brockhampton taking the stage. Not comparing y'all to Brockhampton because you make different music, but what are the pros and cons in your mind of like that teamwork-based effort in terms of like getting your music out there?
Well, I think we each have something different to kind of offer that kind of collectively benefits us. For instance, I'm not really that good with networking, but I'm good with beats and making, audio engineering and things. But Gino's really good with networking. But then if we play a
He's
show,
charismatic, yeah.
And if we play a show, we need someone to DJ. So then Astronate's gonna DJ, and then we need someone to shoot it. So Rashid Devasco's gonna shoot us. Then we each kind of play a role, and we just kind of have one cohesive goal, and we just knock it out.
So how did Callisto come together? Obviously, you've identified all of your strengths, and it makes sense that like. It's kind of like that DIY mindset, like why pay someone else to shoot your shows when you can work as a team and get it done? But like, how did Callisto specifically form, and how long has it been a thing?
Okay, so I say freshman year, I met Nate and Norm, and we
Shout
were
out Norm yet again.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, yo, Norm, that's my roommate.
Hey yo, you better. And so I met them, and we were making music, and I was already just friends with PM freshman year, but like completely unrelated to music. We were just friends, and then man, I heard one of his songs on SoundCloud, and I could not stop listening to it. Like I could not. Like it was like disappear like the whole summer. I was like, oh my god, dude. I was like, yo, send me the beat. I have to rap on this. And then so we did that. We linked up on that song, and then we just kept making more music together. And so then me and PM were making music, and then Nate, Norm, and I were already making music together. And then that boy Rashid was my roommate, and.
It was pretty funny how we met, because the first time we met was actually I was on my way to work over at the Exploratory Studies building.
Yeah.
This random kid with a pineapple head and the poofy hair comes up to me, and he's all like, hey, you should peep my mixtape, man, with the biggest smile ever. And I'm like, sure, I take it. And I look at it, listen to it and all that at work. And then I looked up, my future roommates for the following semester, because, it was spring going to be on fall. Lo and behold, it was the kid who gave me his business card.
No way.
And I was like, bet.
Yeah, you do be on that like business card grind though.
So like
we've got a couple like floating around the studio, and I'll just be like digging through our mail or something and be like, another one.
Another one.
That's an
like
amazing
eggs, we just leave in places.
It works.
Yeah.
And like it's face to name and all that. So the following year, he was my roommate, and like he was like asking me for help on like how to like work on the remix cover for Disappear.
Yeah, the same song,
same beat, yeah.
song. I was like, I had a cover. I was like, yo, he was like, he just has a very artistic visual mind. Like his photos, he just takes cool pictures. And I was like, you think you just help? Like, I don't know what to do here. And he was like, yeah. And then he gave me the cover, and I was like, whoa. And then, yeah,
It's crazy.
Been like that since, pretty much.
yeah, best cover artist in the game.
How do y'all differentiate yourself from other groups? Like Dotwave is a group, and they're also performing Double Barrel, but they're like not the same type of music or anything.
Yeah. I say each one of us really stays true to what we're comfortable with, and we all find our own pocket, and we sort of, we don't really overlap too much, but when we do come together, it blends really well. So like I say, my style is more like conscious lyrical rap, something around there. Yeah. And like PM's like real like trap heavy, especially with his productions, like real trap, like heavy bass hitting hard. And then I like to describe Nate's style as like he'll take a funky sample and just like flip it and just like make it knock, and you're like, oh, what? Houston's going hard. Yeah. And then Ayo Norm's real like lo-fi, chill hop beats, and he really goes in that realm. And as an artist, you know, like as a rapper, I can rap on a trap beat, I can rap on a funky sample, I can rap on a lo-fi beat.
Flexibility is key.
Yeah, and Amir, he has like this like
he's kind of like R&B a little bit.
Yeah.
Like an R&B vibe.
Like trap soulish, but like real like
I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe.
Yeah, but it's like real.
But that's
he kind of
cool.
has his own lane. Yeah.
If you can't spit the word out immediately, there's just more to talk about, you know?
Right.
Opens up that door to conversation. So what can an audience member expect from a show, either King Gino or Callisto Records?
A great time.
Yep.
A great time. Do y'all play with like live musicians, or do you have like a sample track that you use, or?
Usually we go off of our beats. We have Nate on the ones and twos on the DJ mix, you know, scratching a bit and pauses. And one thing that we all really understand and that we really try to focus on is every show we're only half of the performance. Every show, you know, the crowd is always the other half. So we really focus on that crowd interaction and really getting the people into it, because then when the people are into it, then we get into it even more, and then it's just
feeding off of each other.
Yeah, and it creates a good vibe, and it really resonates, and so we really try to get the crowd into it.
Now, one thing we talked about behind the scenes is that a lot of your lyrics focus on like mental health and particularly like heavy subjects. How do you turn that into music that people can dance to or that are like actively engaged in? If it's such like I hesitate to say heavy because it's not like you're being sad about it or anything, but like it is, I'm just going to use a synonym. It is like a weighted topic to discuss.
Well, I mean, for me personally, I'm kind of more trappish. So mine kind of just, it's not really perpetuating anything necessarily. It's kind of more like telling my story, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that each one of us can kind of relate to that. We kind of just tell our own story and we just kind of put it out there. Some people, you know, like the story. Some people may not, you know, they may not resonate with them. But that's all we can really do is just provide the story to people. And yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, especially with the trap Mr. Rogers.
So with me, because I produce, whenever I try to put out a project, it's hard for me to tell stories because I have no lyrics. Yeah. So my project that I first released is called The Trap Mr. Rogers. And I wanted to tell a story about like a black kid in a rough community, because you think about Mr. Rogers, when you grow up, you watch him and he talks about all sorts of like problems that kids face and whatnot.
They just made a movie about him.
Yeah. And I'm going to go watch it.
I'm going to go see it too.
Literally you have to.
Yeah. But I wanted to kind of take it in a route that what if Mr. Rogers was talking about, you know, that kid that, you know, he can't go outside because the neighborhood's not safe.
Right.
And just like handling all the different emotions that, you know, a person goes through. And so like every track I tried to, through the sounds, I tried to create like what kind of emotion I remember like as a kid I was feeling, like when I couldn't like ride my bike around the corner or something like that. Right. And just like hoping that maybe there's some other kid out there that feels the same way. And that can really like resonate with that.
And I think ultimately that storytelling and that just expression of those like, especially like sometimes like kempt up feelings, like makes for great music, and then it just resonates. People are like, man, this is tough. Like you know, like sometimes you're upset and you just want to like just like, you know, vibe in it or like, you know, just express it, and then, you know, people could really resonate with that.
Yeah. What kind of audience feedback have you received thus far through your career?
Oh man, Man, so much different ways.
Yeah, probably a mixed bag for
yeah,
sure.
it's
You're talking about
crazy.
some people who can or cannot vibe and things like that.
Yeah, I say okay. My favorite thing that's happened so far
Nice.
with fan interaction was I performed at the STEM Media Success Summit, right, with
Nice.
Dr. Nehemia Mabry, and he invited me. He was like, "I'm a microbiologist. You rap. We want you to perform." And I was like, "Bet." And yeah, and I was like, "Bet." And there was a lot of kids in the crowd, right?
Yeah,
and so,
if you weren't also a microbiology student, that'd be kind of like left field. Like, you rap, I study microbiology.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Right. And so it fit really well, and I it's cool, like the kids could see like I'm a scientist and I like pursue my passion and do music.
Yeah.
And that's sort of important for me to show,
I mean, Megan Thee Stallion is so upfront about how she is currently getting her degree.
Yeah.
Like while being on the road. And,
yeah. And it's super cool. Like that's like one of the reasons I do like Megan Thee Stallion's like, wow, she's in college, like she's actually doing the thing.
She posts
like,
videos of herself like doing homework before she goes on stage.
Yeah. And it's super cool. So when I did a show, a kid, he like during the show he made like a paper, like the Unfold Me, like little things from like elementary school.
The little like fortune teller thing.
Yeah, the fortune teller thing.
Yeah.
So he made one and it's like opened it and it's like, "You're a great singer," and then he signed it and it was like Armand, age 7. I was just like, oh, and
age 7.
Yeah, I know, and I like pinned it to my board just to see
you
that.
could have just changed his life. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly, like just to see like it resonate with somebody so young and they really appreciated it. I think that was like my favorite. But I mean, I've gotten love from people I've never expected to like that would like it, or like the reaction. It's always crazy because like sometimes you just feel like you're putting stuff out there, nobody's really, it doesn't resonate with anybody. You're just like shooting it, shooting into the dark, but. Then you get that feedback, or like somebody tells you something, you're like, whoa. Or like recently the Spotify the Spotify
your
rap
artist
thing.
wrap up.
Yeah, I think some people like weren't Norm and Nate were like somebody's #1 artist.
I had a couple people that I was on their top 5 list, and like that when I was in class and I saw it on someone's story, I was like, that's like unbelievable.
That's crazy.
That's something you would never think would even happen to you until like it happens, and then you don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah. Like,
and did you like know the people that you were their favorite artist?
A couple people I knew, but I would have never expected that they were listening to me like on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
That's a really empowering feeling, just to like get that much positive feedback. Since you are on the up and coming and things, name some artists that you may aspire to be like in the future, or that you're really interested in emulating some of their work.
I say personally a couple of my favorite artists. Well, I like.
Who's your Spotify #1?
Who was my Spotify #1? Oh my! I use Apple Music.
I also use Apple Music.
So yeah, so like my numbers are skewed.
I think mine was mine.
Actually, yeah, I was
Nice.
about to say, King Gino was my #1 artist of 2019. Naturally, I think Norm and Nate were 2 and 3.
Nice.
But like
Brotherly love. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of TDE. Kendrick Lamar and TDE, and it's super cool, and I like how they're sort of attacking it as a collective as well. I think most of us are big fans of like ASAP Mob and Tribe Called Quest and sort of groups like that. But I just love hip hop in general. Like I just love hip hop. So the greats of the greats, and there's so many artists. I could go all day. J. Cole, of course, what he's doing with Dreamville is super cool.
Yeah. Now, similar subject, but returning back to something that we talked about earlier. So as I said, behind the scenes, you mentioned that a lot of your music talks about mental health, and my follow-up question was, is it in general or specifically regarding the Black community? And then returning to, and you said it was specifically your own experiences, which are naturally targeted towards people who have shared similar experiences. And then regarding artists that have influenced you. Recently, I saw that No Name doesn't want to perform shows that are predominantly like white audiences and things. She did like a whole like interview on it, and it was really well thought out and really informative about how her music is regarding her Black experience, and singing it to white audiences that don't really get it just felt like dehumanizing to her. Is that something that you're not, when you make music about your experience, are you specifically targeting it to a group that can like emulate that and empathize, or are you just trying to like get out your own catharsis and things?
I think for me personally, I'm just kind of trying to just
I
portray
apologize if
myself.
that was like too heavy, by the way.
Not at all. That's a great
That was like a
question.
long-winded question.
I think for me, it's just kind of just putting it out there, just getting my feelings just kind of on a track. Because I think for me, I make music for therapy. That's just for me. Like,
Yeah.
I just kind of have it in me. Sometimes I don't really want to talk to anybody about it, but I can just, record it, and it just feels like, it's my struggle wasn't for vain. It wasn't for no reason. Like, I made art out of it.
You made something, yeah.
So I think that's kind of what it is. And I think for performances, I wouldn't really like not perform for like a wide audience, because I think after the song is made, like I just kind of enjoy the song,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of vibe out with it. So I think it's just great to share that with any kind of audience that I can.
And that's just absolutely her choice. It's what makes her feel comfortable, and that's like the integrity of her work is just something that she wants to uphold. So yeah.
I definitely use my music as expression. Like, there be some days, man, you going through it, especially around October, middle of the semester, man.
Midterms, and then again like a month and a half later.
Yeah. And like, just like not too long ago, like it was having, a bad day, really in my own head. And then PM's just like, hey, I forgot to send this to you. And it was like what I needed, you know what I mean? Like that beat, I was like, man, that's what I needed. And it's like, I really use it as more for catharsis. And I feel like once you put out your music, it's sort of like the world's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like whoever resonates with it, I feel like
That's one of the really powerful things about music, is because like you can write it with a specific like memory or thought or instance like in your mind, but when someone else hears it, they're gonna be thinking about something else.
Yeah.
And like the meaning changes individually.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is, like you said, that like shared therapy, where it's like for you to get your feelings out, but it could be anyone's after that, which is really cool.
And I think that's why hip hop resonates with so many people in general, because a lot of it is of the struggle, and not everybody has necessarily gone through that exact struggle, but a lot of people can relate.
We're all collectively struggling.
In their own way. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own struggle, I feel like.
Well, let's wrap up with a more positive note. What is one thing that Callisto Records or being King Gino has done positively for your life?
Oh, man.
Or many things. List whatever you want.
I'd say confidence is the biggest thing for me. I don't know. I was pretty confident young guy, but like it definitely confidence and humbleness. It's always a balance. The most socially anxious thing I've ever done was give away those mixtape cards.
Yeah.
The first time I went to Tally, I was like shaking. I was like, hey, I made a mixtape. Do you
And you were doing it at Dreamville too, right?
Yeah, so we went, and fun. Dreamville was so much fun.
Because I saw those everywhere too.
Yeah,
we actually did a performance right outside of Dreamville. They didn't let us in at first. Yeah, but we were outside with a speaker performing our hearts out, and people were out there dancing and vibing with us.
Camera, and it was a great time, and it like resonated with people. We were like, he's gonna bring 40,000 hip hop fans to
one spot
across the
10
street
minutes
from my apartment.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're gonna be out there and promoting and marketing our target market, and it was great. It like was even better than I could even imagine. Like people really liked it, and they were like, "Oh, we have something to do in line!" Like, and they were already hyped up for the show.
Gets them ready for the rest of the day.
Exactly, it was great, and so we got out so many cards, and a lot of followers and a lot of listeners too from it, which was great. But like after I gave out the cards, like it was hard to give them out at first, but now, man, if you see me,
just throw them.
Oh, they're everywhere. Like you said, you can find them almost anywhere. I'm very like, oh, here, take a card. If you want it or not, I don't know, just take a card. But that confidence is like,
if you don't want it, recycle it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and it's like I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do, and I'm confident in myself to just pursue what I want to do, and that's how it's helped me for sure.
Anyone else have any commentary on that specific question?
I would say for me, I've always loved music. I've just never been really able to make it. I had a guitar in I think it was like middle school, but I was never the best at playing guitar.
No one's ever the best at playing guitar.
Right, it's just I tried, and it was my thing was always hip hop, and I always wanted to do it. I just needed like the community around me to like really do it. And so when I met Norm and Amir and everybody else and Gino, and we really started taking it serious, I was like, oh, this is something that we could really do. And so that alone just motivates me every day to like try something new, whether it be a new sound, or a new inspiration, or just trying to tell a new story. So
yeah.
For me, it's about a matter of self-expression because, there's a lot of things that I feel, a lot of things that I think about, but I don't really share with people. Even if they do ask me, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm fine or anything. But, like, having that artistic outlet where it's, like, completely visual is something that I feel like, Callisto Records and, having these brothers here, it's amazing for me to have this, mode of expression pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of like a really sweet release every time I release a project, or work on a new one.
Yeah.
That everybody?
And I think for me, it's just kind of
You have to talk.
Yeah.
It's not all Gino this time.
I think just kind of going off of what Nate said, just being able to just want to make music and actually being able to do it. And I think for me, because I'm a producer and I write the raps and then I rap it, then I record it, then I like mix it. So it's like being able to just get from an idea in my head and just to a finished product is like a beautiful thing to me. It's kind of like your baby, and then you put it out to the world, and people really like it. So it's just like just being able to express yourself and just having this creation that's all you. Yeah, it's just one of the most beautiful feelings in the world for me.
Yeah.
And well, you can go.
Yeah, one thing they sort of touched on too is like it's like now we're like this, like it's like I feel like I got a family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like we definitely like foster that family like environment. So it's like, it goes, it goes way beyond the music, you know what I mean? Like we just have each other backs for like anything, you know what I mean? And so just like having like a team of trusted people you can always rely on is like it's irreplaceable,
In 2020, other than playing Double Barrel Benefit, what's one goal you have or one thing that you're excited to do?
Oh man, I got a list.
Give me the list. That's fine.
Yeah.
So we have Constellations. I want to do that again. Constellations, second year. We're gonna keep that being an annual thing. I had a couple ideas. I haven't shared them with the team. I was thinking about doing a show at a prison. And I feel like...
Well, the NC Central prison is like right around the corner, and they listen to KNC all the time.
Yeah, and it's like right up the street, and I feel like...
I make this really awful joke that there are like captive audience.
No.
Oh man, that's funny.
You didn't lie.
Thank you.
You didn't lie.
Oh man. I feel like that'd be cool because I want to bring attention to the criminal justice system. So I feel like how else better to do it with my music, and I have attention, so like bring it there.
It probably also would like make the inmates' day just like that little bit better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Some fun for 'em.
yeah. What else? I want to do a Callisto beach retreat.
Nice.
Where we get the whole team. We like go to like somewhere to the beach, probably in spring break or summer. And we just all lock in and just make some art, while we're all, sort of away from our, regular duties and lives. And we
It's
just
like
lock
beach house
in.
fever.
Yeah.
Instead of like cabin fever. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that'd be cool. And
I think doing a North Carolina tour is something
That'd
that
be
we
sick.
really want to do too, because I feel like in Raleigh we people know who we are,
Yeah.
but across North Carolina, we might be lacking the audience. So just doing a North Carolina tour, that'd be real cool for us.
yeah.
Just to kind of get our name out there.
And I say 2020 is a big year for visuals.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely want to get more video content out there, I feel like that's we're working on it right now, and we're going to be pumping out a lot of great stuff in the future.
Y'all should definitely talk to Dotwave and see how they get stuff done. Like I was looking at their website earlier today. They have like a video where they use like a drone or something.
Yeah.
It's for Quid Pro Quo, where they're like out in like a desert or something, and it's a super tough music video. But I'm like, how did you do this?
Yeah.
You're all literally in college.
Yeah.
How did you do this?
Nah, drone footage is always super cool. I had a little bit of that in Sea Smoke video. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot of plans. There's a lot of new music coming very soon.
Well, we are super stoked to see it, especially at Double Barrel Benefit, but just like watching local musicians grow. WKNC is beyond excited to have y'all play. For audience members who are listening and really excited about this, it will be February 7th at King's in downtown Raleigh.
Be there.
Gino and Callisto Records are going to be playing night 1. They are the second act of the night, so come early for Vacant Company, stay the whole night. It only gets better as the lineup keeps going. But of course, everyone playing are all stars.
Oh, yeah.
Can't compare them.
It's a great lineup, honestly.
It's gonna be sick for sure. This has been WKNC 88.1, an off the record interview with King Gino.
Schmoof.